Assalamu alaikum. How are you, dear students? Fine, feeling well? I hope you all are fine. Well, this is Mr. Said Kareem taking today's class. But before we start, I have to inform you all, before this lecture, you have to be well known of two previous lectures. Number first by Mr. Rahat and secondly by Sir Hayat. Dear students, Mr. Rahat talked about how to start the unit and how to write down. So Mr. Rahat told you and taught you about how to start the course contents, how to write down your name, how to write down your whatever necessary material there are. Whether section is there, you have to write down, and serial number, registration number, serial number you have to write down with pencil, etc. And the second class was taken by one of the teachers, Mr. Hayatullah, Sir Hayat. Dear students, before this lecture, I exactly want to tell you that you have to be well aware of writing many things before this lecture. Like, for example, a student who is taking this class, the very first class, must know that this is not the first class. And what we write and what I am going to teach you today, this is the third video after Sir Rahat and after Sir Hayat. Dear students, first of all, you have to write down your name, section, serial number, teacher name, whatever is there on the very first page of the notebook. And secondly, you have to write down the course contents of English A and English B. And this is the third task that we are going to accomplish, and we are going to achieve it. We are going to write down in the notebook. Well, dear students, Antarctica and the South Pole was a chapter taught by Sir Hayat in the previous video, and definitely there were some difficult words. But before the difficult words, I am informing you, this is your title page. You have to write down this title page later on after this video. I mean, in this video, after 8 or 6 minutes, I will write down the same thing in the notebook. And the purpose of writing in the notebook is that you have to write down inside the notebook the same thing as I am writing. Done? So that is the first. This is usually the students, they call it what? They call it the title page. This is your title page. You will write down unit number first, and you will write down here page number 4. And class 7 students, they have come from, especially from the different schools, and they are from the junior branch. So they do not know, and they know, but their methodology might be a bit changed, because in class 4 and 5th or 3rd they use pencil, and in class 6th and 7th we start writing with pen and marker, etc. So whatever is written on this chalk, keep in mind the color chalk means marker. Here you can see that unit number 1st and page number 4, Antarctica and the South Pole, and after that the words meaning and the word sentences. So you have to write down the same like words meanings, word sentences, the passage comprehension or comprehension passage, and book exercises along with grammar exercises. Dear students, because of the board, we are having only one board here. I mean that we cannot write down all the things as I want you to write down, but I am informing you, you have to write down this on a single page. Again, listen please, this from the very start till the book and plus grammar exercises, it must be on a single page. And on the second page, you have to write down from here, from words meaning, take this area. Done? This is, I have to write down, this is your page number 1st, but you should not write down page number 1st. It is for your convenience, I say, that this is page number 1st, this is page number 2, and this will be the next page, this one. The word sentence is a new topic, and word meaning is another topic, and this is the title page. as you have the experience how you decorated, you can, in Antarctica and the South Pole, so here if you are having the extra, you have to write down like Antarctica and the South Pole, then leave one line, write down word meanings, leave one line, write down word sentences, leave another line, and with that sequence you have to write down till here. Suppose you are having place here, on that page, so you can draw the diagram of Antarctica. For example, our student can draw the diagram or the picture of a penguin. He can draw or make the picture of a whale or any fish or bird, whatever is relative or relevant to the Antarctica, right? Dear students, even a student can draw the diagram of the world, the map. Map. Dear students, after this, you have to write down this. And how will you write? This is on page number first, this is on page number next, and this is on the next page. The word sentences, right? Word meanings, dear students, mistakenly, I have written with pen, but you have to write down it with marker. Like marker means I have to write down it with a color chalk here. Number money, and then there is another word thick, and then there is another word. I have to underline all these. It means that you have to write down it with marker. Here color chalk means marker. And the next page is, the word number first is money, which is honey, and next is thick. The third word is huddle, and teeming, T-E-E-M-I-N-G, teeming, and prevent. Dear students, later on, after 2-3 minutes, I will write down all these in the notebook, so you can come to know how a student will write down. As a student, I will write down it in the notebook, and then you have to copy me. Well, dear students, on the next page, you have to write down. You don't have to write down like page 1 and the second and the third. Okay, the words for the sentences, they are travel, bright, wildlife, native, and middle. These are 5 words, okay? Dear students, for example, I am a student, how I will write or how will I write? This is my title page. Can you see it? Okay, this page I have written here. Can you see this? Okay, the next page, this is page number 2. You have to write down like this, the word meaning. You see, words meanings and words meaning, this is, you have to keep in mind, capitalized all. This is the name of this page, the name. And then we have to do like this, words, W in capital and M capital, and rest, they are in small letters, okay? Word number first and second and third and fourth and fifth. Keep in mind, we have to write down these 5 words. But if you are interested in the other words, after these 5, you can write 1 or 2 of your choice. Dear students, the next page, you have to come to the next page. This is our word sentences, right? I have to draw a line here. And I will write down here word number first, which is money, and I will develop my own sentence here. You can develop your own sentence, or you can take help from your friend as well. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I talked about writing all these things, but how to write, I'm going to show you. This will be just a class of demonstration, the kind of demonstration I would like to. Dear students, the title page is, you saw that while I was talking about how to write down title page, and you have to copy this. You don't have to ask question from anybody else. You can cover all this today's lecture from the very video that you are watching so far. Dear students, I told you that you have to write down the course contents, and after the course content, this is the very first page. This one is the very first page after the course contents. Keep in mind, Unit number 1 and page 4, Antarctica and the South Pole. Then word meaning, word sentences, passage comprehension, and next is book exercises and grammar exercises. Dear students, then on the very next page here, in this page, if you are having place, so you can draw a picture. For example, suppose I'm having here a bit area, a bit page, so I can draw a diagram like this. Okay, well, I have to decorate it like that, and students might draw the picture of a tree as well. For example, I consider it a book. Okay, as beautiful as you can cover it like that. Understand, dear students, like this, with this design. This is another design, and if you would like to draw a diagram of a tree or anything that you can understand, dear students, then we have to come to the next page where we are having the headings of the words meanings, all you see in capitalized form, words and meanings. Next, you have to draw a line like this, and you have to underline that with pencil. Underline. Dear students, many of you are confused how to draw the margin line. I request you that look into the first, this margin line, or look into this margin line, and a half of that margin line you have to draw it on the other side. For example, here it is this much, so a half of this margin line, it can be this much. Okay, so you look at this side. This side margin line is half of this side. This is the full margin line, and this is half of that side. Dear students, then we have to come to the words meaning side, and you have to draw the margin line as well, like this. And what are the words here? You have seen the words on the board as well, but apart from that, I would like to write down the meaning as well. Okay, words meanings. First word is money, and second is thick. Word number 3 is huddle. That is HUDDLE, huddle. Word number 4 is teeming, and the last word is prevent. Very, very important is you have to write down all words. The first alphabet of the first letter of the word is you see, that is small, not capital. Okay, and then we have to write down the meanings. So the meaning of the first word is money, that is wealth. Okay, we have to write down with pen, but I'm here having the ballpoint. You have to write down with the ink pen. You call it dollar pen or SP10. Okay, that is wealth. Write down as beautiful as you can. Second word is thick, means dense, DENSE, dense. And the next word is huddle, means get together. Next word is teeming, and the word teeming means full of. And the last word here, that is prevent, means to stop. And we have to stop here. Word meanings. Let's go to the word sentences. Okay, on the next page there is the word sentences, and you can see the very first word is travel. And a student, I like that student who develops his own sentence. For example, one student write one sentence and another write another sentence. Different sentences are appreciated by me and by the management. Dear students, the first word here is travel. But according to the rules regulation of Peshawar model, you have to write down word with marker and start it with small letter, understand, and write down a sentence, and in that sentence, if it comes again, the same word, you have to use it in the sentence. When it comes again in the sentence, you have to write down with marker and you have to underline that word. For example, I write travel. Let's suppose I write I travel by bus. Right. I have to write down the word travel with the help of marker. Travel. And then I have to go for underlining this word, because each and everything that we write down with marker must be underlined like this, and almost it must be double underlined anyhow. So you can see the word travel, how I used this word in the sentence. Word number second, that is bright. Word number 2, you leave one line and write down word number 2, that is BRIGHT, bright. And look into today's weather, and I can clearly say that today is a bright day, or only bright. Anyhow, I have to write down that with marker like this. Today is a bright day. Understand? And I have to go then again for what? For underlining the very word I have written here, bright. And I have to underline this here as well. Word number 3, let me write down. So that is wildlife. WILDLIFE, wildlife. Wildlife means, or wildlife means jungli hayat. Jungli hayat. Like the tiger, like the pink, the leopard, like the animal that you can see, especially on Geography Channel these days. Okay, wildlife, as I told you, this is jungli hayat. So you have to write down a sentence like this. Suppose I am writing, we have to protect. And if I am writing this word wildlife, so I have to write down with marker WILDLIFE, wildlife or wildlife. Okay, we have to protect, or we must protect wildlife, and I have to go again for underlining this word in front of you, so you can underline it as well like this, and this word also. Word number 4, dear students, it is native. Word number 4 is what? Native. Sorry, I have written that capital. That is NATIVE, native. And how will you develop a sentence? For example, I write, suppose I write a sentence like this: everyone loves, and then the word native. Okay, everyone loves. Here you have to mention his or her. Okay, our native land. Land here is a word referring to the country. And the last word, that is middle. The word number 5th is MIDDLE, middle. And suppose I write like Peshawar Model School. Peshawar Model School is in the middle of Peshawar, or in the center. So here it refers to the center, in the middle of. Okay, so Peshawar Model School is in the middle of the city. Okay, city here refers to Peshawar city. Well, dear students, we are done with 5 word sentences, and still we are having here a bit area, a bit place. Okay, dear students, keep in mind that if you want to write down word number 6. So you can write down by your own choice from the text. You can write down from that where you text from Antarctica 1 or 2 words you can write down extra from your side. Okay, so I have closed it here with the word number 5th, but you can write down word number 6th and word number 7th as well. Dear students, in the very next class, this is video number 3rd or lecture number 3rd, part 1st. Very important, you have to pay attention to what I am saying now. It is lecture number 3rd, part 1st. Okay, so this is lecture number 3rd, part 1st. We have done words meaning, word sentences and the title page. In lecture number 3rd, part 2, part the 2nd, next time inshallah we shall cover noun and then passage comprehension or comprehension passage, and the 3rd application. Till then, take care. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Mr. Sayyid Kareem taking today's class, lecture number 3rd, part 2. Dear students, before starting this class, I would like to inform you that the first lecture was taken by Sir Rahat and second lecture was taken by one of the teachers, Sir Hayat, and the third, before this, it was lecture number 3rd, part 1st. You have to be well aware of it. Otherwise, if you write down, I was talking about if you write down things in not in sequence, then it will be a problem for you. That's why you have to be very careful about writing all the materials in sequence. And what do I mean by all materials? Like this is chapter or lecture number 3rd, part 2. Dear students, if you write down first of all this one, it will be considered completely wrong, because first of all you have to introduce yourself in the notebook. That is, you have to write down your name, etc. And secondly, you have to write down course contents. Third, you have to write down. After that course contents, a class was taken by Sir Hayat. That was lecture number 2, Antarctica and the South Pole. The chapter was completed, and dear students, after that lecture, the written work which I took the class, that was the word sentences and words meaning. Okay, words meaning. First of all, it was title page. Secondly, words meanings, and then word sentences. And after that, it was called lecture number 3rd, part 1st. And this is lecture number 3rd, part the 2nd or part 2. The problem is that in this lecture, you will not write down all these things. These are just the topics that I'm going to discuss inside the notebook. I mean, you have to write down in the notebook. You have to pay attention to the application to the principle for urgent piece of work. This will be the application. It is very important application, because many students faced emergency, and I mean that they cannot come to school for a day or for a short time. This is very important application. Dear students, about this application, I would like to inform you that this application is not of the same kind as you wrote in the notebook in junior section or in any other school, because in class 7 we follow the boat pattern. Like before this class, you would write down the principal, Peshawar Model School, Boys Branch 3 or Branch Boys 3 and Ring Road, Peshawar. We do not follow that pattern, right? We are following here an application, the pattern of board. And what's that pattern? That is the principal, ABC School, Peshawar. Understand, dear students? So you have to pay attention first of all to the heading of that. The start point of the application is very necessary, along with the end part as well, which is called conclusion or the last signature, etc. Because we write down an ABC School, Peshawar, and the student name we write XYZ. We start it with ABC and end with XYZ. Dear students, the next point that I'm going to discuss today, that is noun. And what will I discuss? That is noun definition, along with examples. I have to write down the word examples here because we are not writing only one example. We have to write down example about the person, place, things, idea, activity, whatever is that. And the third point that we are going to discuss is very, very easy point, that is comprehension passage, and it is also known as passage comprehension. Done, dear students? So I think you have got the point. I mean, what we will discuss today. Dear students, I could easily write down the date here, but I will not write the date because you will write the date, the same date on which you are going to copy all these things in the notebook. Understand? So I request you all to open your notebooks and let's begin the work inside the notebook. Okay, dear students, as I inform you, come to the notebook side, the written work. Actually, this is the work of students, but as a student now, we write down to provide convenience to the students. So it can be convenient to you to write down. Let me write down the application. You saw that on the board. It was write in application to principal or to the principal for urgent piece of work. Write an application, or you can write down only application to principal for urgent piece of work as well. That's not a big deal. It's easy for you. How you feel convenient, you can write down. Dear students, how to start? As I told you that starting and ending of the application this time is a bit, we follow the board pattern, so it is a bit changed, and that is you have to write down like this: the T with marker, and then P with marker, and then A, B, C with marker, and S and comma. Usually you have to put with marker so that it can be nominated, it can be visible to each and every person, which is important part of the application. Usually we deduct marks because of these punctuation. Dear students, after this you have to write down as I am writing now, subject. And subject, you know what is subject? Subject is actually the theme of the application, and now that is what you know. Write in application to principal for urgent piece of work. So you will write down here F like for, and then U for urgent, and then here P urgent for urgent piece of work. So W I will write down here. Let me complete it now. That is FOR for urgent, PIECE piece of. Usually the preposition of we do not capitalize, that's why I write down small, of WORK, work. Dear students, you have to write down after this. Actually here the principal is madam, so we write down madam. Otherwise, if you are in any other area, so you can write down this sir as well, madam. Then here we write down like the courtesy words: with due respect. Okay, dear students, I wanted to write down, so I pause the video for a while because it will take much time then. You have to pay attention now to what I have written here. Madam, you please write down this M only with marker. I request you all to write down and follow the instruction that I am going to deliver here. Madam, you have to write down this only M with marker and rest of this with blue pen, okay? With due respect, it is stated that I am the student of class 7th. Dear students, class 7 should be written like this, because if you write down the 7th in this form, like, let me write down here, and if you write this 7 like this, it is completely wrong. Understand, dear students? Next, you have to keep in mind that the word I, here it is written, you have to write down like this or like this. But if you write down like this and you use it for yourself, for any, let me write, for any human being, it will be wrong then. Understand? So keep in mind these 2-3 things, because they are necessary and you have to follow it for your life. I mean in your entire life. With due respect, it is stated that I am the student of class 7. Do not write 7P, 7M or T or Y or whatever is that. And one thing else, like here it is for urgent piece of work, so you can write down any subject. I mean, now here it is, my mother is seriously ill and there is no one at home to take her to the hospital. So I have to take her to the hospital. Therefore means that therefore kindly grant me leave for one day, or therefore I cannot come to school. Even you can write down here, if I write here, I add it with this, therefore I cannot come to school. Come to, and kindly please write down it completely like this. And then be careful about this. If you start this is called indent paragraph. If you start it from a bit, I mean from away from the margin line here, this one, so you have to write down therefore with this length and thanking you again with this length. Even I did not write correctly, but you have to write down like with due respect from here. If you start it from here, from wherever you start, you have to start therefore in the same sequence. I hope you understood. So I have to take her to the hospital, therefore I cannot come to school. So you can write down therefore kindly grant me leave for one day, or kindly grant me leave for one day. Dear students, one another technicality I would like to show you here. If your topic, I mean your application is short, then you can prolong it with the word, you will change this. Like you will write down, I shall be very thankful to you for this act of kindness. But if you look into this application, it has taken the whole page, the full page. Therefore, I do not need to write down that full sentence because I am in the shortage of this page. So if you are lacking the page, I mean you do not have, if you write down 2-3 lines application, then you have to make it lengthy. With the help of only this you will change thanking you to, I shall be very thankful to you for this act of kindness. Understand? Next, if you write down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8 lines, then no need of writing the full sentence like therefore, what we call, I shall be very thankful to you for this act of kindness. Then you don't have to write down, I shall be very thankful to you for this act of kindness. You have to write down short, thanking you. And keep in mind that both of them, they are wrong if you write down both sentences, like I shall be very thankful to you for this act of kindness, and along with that you write down thanking you. It is wrong then. You have to write down one according to the page. According to the page mean if you have the remaining lines, you have to write down full, I shall be thankful to you for this act of kindness. And if you do not have many lines, so you have to write down thanking you. Dear students, for the decoration you have to do like this for makeup of this application, like T and then this Y with marker, and then you have to write down this Y with marker and write down this O with marker. And keep in mind everywhere we write down the abbreviated form of words. Abbreviations, I mean, we start with the capital. I mean like you have to see this one, A, B and C, right? And we have to end up this application with the X and full stop or dot and then Y and then Z. Understand? We also call it Z sound when we refer to. Dear students, this is the application each and every student have to write down. One thing else, if you change this area, I shall be very thankful to you. I will be very thankful to you. Like if you write down my mother or my father is seriously ill or any other excuse you can, you can write down like my sister has broken her leg and I would like, or I have to take her to the hospital. You can change these sentences, these three. That's my mother and there is no one, and these 3 lines you can change. Dear students, after this you have to pay attention to noun. A grammatical term. What is noun? So we write down definition. Noun is a naming word, or noun is the name of a person, place, thing, idea or animal. And this is very easy. Almost many students, they are well aware of this. They are having previous knowledge of noun. Write down example. An example there we can have a male or female. I mean man or woman. etc. Like I write here person Ali and female Alia, and next I write Rashid or Rashid double ed and Rashida, right? So male or female both can be a person, full stop. And you can write etc stand for etc, like this similar example. Place, suppose I write Zaryab Kaluni, Zaryab Kaluni. Next, I write Golabad. You can write down many examples, so on and so forth, like this. Things can be pin or it can be marker, done, etc. And idea, this is conceptual noun somehow, like all the abstract noun can be there. Suppose I write heart or love or suppose hate. So these are the nouns that usually we cannot see, practically we cannot see with our eyes, like love and hate. An animal, that is very easy. Suppose I write cat and dog or bitch, etc. So on and so forth. Dear students, you have to pay attention to the noun. You can change all these names, but you have to follow the pattern the same as I have written here. Okay, after that page, dear students, after noun, you have to keep in mind the kinds of noun. Common noun is the name of common person, place, or a thing. And proper noun, like your name, my name, Sayyid Kareem, or your name, suppose Ali or Alia, etc. The original name of a person, place, or thing. Zaryab Kaluri is also proper noun because it is a proper name of a place. And collective noun, a noun which is plural without s or es. Suppose people, it is a proper noun here. Done, or army or police, etc. Material noun is a noun from which we can make the other material, like wood. Now wood is a material for a chair, like plastic is a material for a marker, iron is a material for a stand, for a chair even, and so on and so forth. You can make other examples. Abstract noun that we cannot see, suppose love and hate and hot and cool. These are the nouns fall in the category of the abstract noun. Okay, dear students, this is your homework, and the homework doesn't mean that it is like we say this is home and work. No, you have to write down the same thing as I have written. Comprehension passage you have to write down on the next page and read the passage and answer the questions. I would like to clear all your questions. Sir, will we write this in our notebook? Yes, you have to write down in your notebook. The South Pole is in the middle of Antarctica. There are two seasons in the South Pole, winter and summer. During winter, that is from March to September, it is dark all the time because the South Pole is facing away from the sun, and the other 6 months are summer when it is bright 24 hours a day. Dear, this is a passage. You have to write down all these questions, answer by yourself. Write down questions like this: where is the South Pole? Definitely a student will write down that the South Pole is in the middle of Antarctica. But the rest of the question I don't want to expose. You have to pay attention to the passage and you have to write down it by yourself. How many seasons are there in the South Pole? You have to write down how many seasons are there, and you have to mention the name of the seasons as well. Next is, what is the meaning of facing away? You have to search this word in the dictionary and write down like this, that the meaning of the facing away, you have to write down in the commas, the double commas, quotation sign. The meaning of the facing away is like this, and you have to underline and you have to write down with marker. But the answer you have to write down with pen, all the answers, okay? But the special words, the heading, you have to write down with marker. Why is it dark all the time during winter? You have to write down the answer, that why is it dark all the time during winter. Done, dear students? All right. Thank you very much for your undivided attention. And you have to, once again I tell you, first of all is course contents. Secondly, there is a title page. Third, there is what?
there is words meaning, then the fourth there is what sentences, the fifth there is application, the sixth there is noun, the seventh there is kinds of noun, the eighth there is passage comprehension or comprehension passage. So we are done with 8 topics so forth. Thank you very much.